your doctor, you can do that. This is a matter of choice. We know in all sorts of places you pay more for a wider range of choices or a wider range of benefits.
Well, there's a lot more in that interview. We're going to talk about with Karl Rove, former senior advisor, deputy chief of staff to President Bush, Fox News contributor. Hello, sir, and good morning to you.
Morning. We now understand why Rahm Emanuel has a temper. His brother's his doctor. That guy, Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel, has about the worst bedside manner of any physician I have ever seen or heard of in my life.
It went back and forth, as he usually does with him. He's a very high-energy guy. Now, what did you think of his defense of that claim, Karl?
I thought it was ludicrous. The president said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, period. He didn't say you're going to have to pay a lot more and if you want to keep your doctor under my plan. Frankly, from the very beginning, one of the principal assumptions of Obamacare is that there are too many choices, that people have too many choices when it comes to insurance policies, so let's make them all look alike. And you have too many choices when it comes to doctors and providers, so let's do things in the design of the law that necessarily limit the number of providers and the number of doctors you're going to have access to. And that necessarily means that the president was absolutely lying when he said if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, period.
But he's a full-throated defense, Karl. You know, people aren't stupid. Wallace said the president guaranteed me I could keep my doctor.
Sure.
Emanuel said, and if you want to, you can pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. You can have anything you want as long as you can come up with a jack for it. No, look, this is why I'm amazed that first of all, they're even trying to defend it. The president stepped back from saying, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it, and apologized. I think that apology was blanket enough that it covers this as well, and why Emanuel continues to try and defend it, saying, well, the president didn't promise you couldn't, have unlimited blah, 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 blah. It was a ridiculous defense and not particularly effective.
On the political side of it, I think you have said this before. You believe that Democrats hope that the American voter forgets.
Yeah, but they aren't. They're not going to. Scott Brown had an interesting post on FoxNews.com where he pointed out of the 26 hospitals in the state of New Hampshire, 16 of them are not covered under the federal exchange. So you can't go, if you buy insurance through the federal exchange, through the Obamacare exchange, you can't go to 16 of 26 hospitals in the state of New Hampshire. There was a study done by watchdog.org of the 18 U.S. News and World Report top-rated hospitals. 11 of the 18 are available only through one or two carriers. So most of those big hospitals like the Cleveland Clinic are going to be inaccessible to most people who for insurance through the federal exchange.
Well, many would argue the innovation suffers on that, too. Now, the other thing that Emanuel argued is that the reason why Obamacare has not caught on is because the website was poorly designed. You had issues of that for the past 2 months, and some of those issues still continue. And it sidetracked the possibility of pushing a marketing campaign. Watch here.
No one has launched a big PR campaign to get these people signed up because of the problems with the federal website. We are about to launch a big PR campaign, and that, I think, is going to persuade a lot of people to sign up.
So then the question is it a PR issue, Karl?
Look, the federal government has spent hundreds of millions of dollars advertising on television the benefits of the Affordable Care Act. Interestingly enough, mostly in states with a Democrat senator up for election next year. They've spent hundreds of millions of dollars in grants to so-called community groups to provide navigators to go about helping people sign up for insurance. They have spent an enormous amount of time cultivating Hollywood figures with big Twitter accounts and Facebook pages to advocate this. The president has spent years touting the benefit of this. If Dr. Emanuel really thinks that the answer is they've got one television ad waiting back there in the old closet that they're about ready to spring out, and that's going to get them to 7 million people signed up by the end of March, or to even 5 million or 6 million signed up by December 23rd, when the enrollment period ends to guaranteed coverage by January 1. He is kidding himself.
That's 100, 105, 110 days from now.
Yeah, he's delusional.
But listen, the marketing, the PR, this thing has been on every website and newspaper and television station for 2.5 months. You
get one chance to create a first impression, and the Affordable Care Act's first impression created on October 1 was not good. And as people have learned more about it, how more enthusiastic do you think they are about it? When young people have more about how they're going to pay a higher premium than they would otherwise in order to subsidize older, that's going to make them less attractive. When people hear about the premiums and deductibles, makes it less attractive.
I just want to squeeze in one more point, because the other thing that Emmanuel argued, and this has been argued by the president, is that I know when I got my iPhone there were a lot of glitches and they sent me updates for that. I mean, it just seems like a poor metaphor. Because you don't have to buy an iPhone.
No, you don't have to buy an iPhone. And if the iPhone had as disastrous a rollout as Obamacare, Apple stock would be about $1.44 and the company would be going out of business. This was a dreadful implementation, and the sooner they admit it, the better off their credibility will be with the American people. And look, frankly, as an opponent of Obamacare, I hope they keep putting Dr. Emmanuel on television. But if they really do want to engage in a PR campaign, my advice would be stop letting him go on television and be the face of the program, because it ain't a very attractive face and voice.
Very interesting. I mean, Samsung, Motorola, AT&T, Verizon, got a lot of options. Carl, thank you.